come right
Right up here.
No, you come on up front.
There's a stool.
There you go.
Oh, she's got one.
You're at the bar and on the bar stool, so go right ahead.
Let's see.
We are on
that-
that
we on this
camera
one.
and that little camera there, so
However
just
you
like,
want.
just like you are right now, be
You've got the floor.
Thank you. My name is Joy Cameron. I grew up in upstate New York and moved to South Carolina back in 1988, where I went to the University of South Carolina. I designed my degree to be a residential counselor, house parent at children's homes, and I was able to do that at 3 different ones. I started out at County Maxwell in Orangeburg, and I was at the Joy Ranch in Virginia, and worked in Ulster County, New York at a children's home. After my divorce, I moved back to Columbia to be near my family, and I set about my dream of adopting children, and I was able to adopt my little girl. She was 1.5, and she came to me in 2008, and my little boy came to me in 2009, and I just recently adopted again. All 3 kids are special needs. They're all medically needy, and it was hard to find, as a single parent, a job that would be profitable for me and take care of their needs at the same time. So I prayed to the Lord this past fall, and I said, I know I'm asking a lot, but could you please help me find something that's part-time, that pays well, and will allow me to take the kids to their medical appointments. And I applied to Palmetto Place Children's Shelter as a house parent. Unfortunately, the shifts were 7 to 3, 3 to 11, and overnight, which wouldn't allow me to be able to meet the kids' needs, get them to school, and be with them at night. But I went home kind of disappointed from that. 2 months later, I got a call from the director there, and she said, I'm so excited to tell you I got a grant. And she said, we created a position for you. And I was like, oh, let's hear it. They said, we want you to be the in-house counselor at the children's shelter. And this is 20 hours a week, and it had a great rate of pay. And the 20 hours was flex time, so it was whatever hours I wanted it to be. It's my dream job, obviously, since the Lord created it for me. It's just amazing. I've gotten to know the teens so well. They're great kids. Part of them are DSS kids, and part of them are homeless. There was a recent article in one of the Columbia newspapers about a precious young lady that I work with, which I'd like to read to you if you don't mind. And these are her words. And at 16 years old, Shalita Burnett was determined to change her life. She was a sophomore at Eau Claire High School, and she was homeless. Burnett had spent most of her life sleeping in parks and cars with her parents and siblings, and there were 8 of them, 8 siblings. Desperate to redirect the course of her life, she decided to graduate high school early and advance to college before she spent any more time homeless. In addition to taking her regular classes, she began also taking online courses to move quicker to graduation. Burnett owned a laptop which she carried with her while her family struggled to find places to eat, bathe, and sleep. My family had no place to live, so I'd find Wi-Fi close to wherever we chose to stay each night, and I would just stay up and work all night, Burnett recalled. It was hard, but I convinced myself that I was going to graduate early. Without a stable home, Burnett often did not have a way to go to school, and she struggled to stay on top of her challenging academic load. Juggling so much homework without a bed to sleep in, she often fought exhaustion. My family continued to move around, and I was so tired. I couldn't focus. I had to force myself to be happy because I was so depressed and frustrated, Burnett explained. I wanted to give up, but I knew that was not an option. Burnett's parents and some of her siblings found temporary refuge in a small trailer owned by a relative. With 10 people staying in one house, tensions ran high. Food, running water were often a source of family squabbles and stress. Too many times, Burnett did not have a meal to eat or a way to take a shower. So by the time she was in her junior year of high school, she decided she needed a drastic change. Thankfully, Burnett found her way to Palmetto Place, a shelter for children who face abuse, abandonment, neglect, or homelessness. For 40 years, Palmetto Place has been a home for children who had been abused and neglected. Palmetto Place's project coordinator, Grace Bennett, says more than 7,000 teens and children have called us home. But the need in our community is greater than that, even now. In the last year, Palmetto Place has more than doubled the amount of housing available to children and teenagers. They now have 25 beds available for teens. Palmetto Place completely changed Burnett's life. She no longer struggled to make it to school and to stay awake. I have structure now and I have stability, said Burnett. I can work on school now and not have to worry about where my next meal is coming from, or how am I going to wash my clothes, or how am I going to get to work later, and I'm safe. No one is coming to hurt me. Lynette said her parents at the shelter her peers at the shelter have been very kind to her. The other teams seem to admire her. In fact, I stay busy and I focus on school. The other kids were surprised by my class load, and then I was graduating early, she said. They all said, "Oh, you're strong." And I mean, I like sleep, but I want my diploma too. In 2017, Bonette graduated from Eau Claire High School 1 year early. Unfortunately, because she's still only 17, she's still too young to obtain a lease for an apartment to live in, or many residential halls in universities. Undeterred, she's enrolled at Midlands Technical College for the fall of 2017 and will transfer to South Carolina State University in the spring of 2018. Her current goal is to obtain her bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and she's saving her money. In fact, that young lady works 2 jobs and works very hard. And she wants to be independent after leaving Palmetto Place. For Bonette, Palmetto Place gave her the support system and structure she needed to succeed academically. "I don't hate my parents, I love them," said Bonette. "I know they tried and it was just too much to handle mentally, financially, and emotionally. They're not bad parents." Homeless teens, the sad, hidden truth of the Midlands. A lot of people don't know that teen homelessness exists in Columbia. When I tell people we take care of homeless teens in your neighborhood, the first thing they say is, "Not in my neighborhood." Palmetto Place has expanded its housing into 2 separate homes where children and teenagers live in dormitory-style housing. They can currently accommodate 30 kids and teens who are in foster care and 25 teens who are homeless, or as they're sometimes called, unaccompanied youth. One of these youth is a young man from Guatemala who came across the border with no family, and we were trying to best to help him be able to stay here in America and meet his goals and keep him safe. This recent development, up until last year with the unaccompanied youth, the shelter could only house 4 youths at a time, and it is expanding. Out of the 25 beds for the homeless teens, 20 are filled right now, and the remaining 5 beds may not be filled soon since public schools are on summer break. Often school teachers, counselors, and social workers are the second family for many children, and the ones who realize when something's very wrong. Unfortunately, neglect and homelessness often go unreported in the summer because the kids aren't in school and no one knows what's going on. Many homeless teens in Columbia have been subjected to trauma, including physical and sexual violence. But according to Grace Bennett, the biggest problem most of these children have faced is neglect. Homelessness and poverty do not care about your socioeconomic status. Things can change in the blink of an eye. People think there are no homeless teens in Columbia because they're not sitting in the streets with signs around their necks. Homelessness can actually look a lot like different things, like crashing week to week in different homes, like Shalita's family had to. Just like Bonette had to make the decision to leave her family to improve her life, Bennett says many homeless families in the Midlands are faced with similarly difficult decisions every day. It's so hard to explain the effects of poverty and educational neglect to someone who's never been through that. Homeless families love their kids, but they sometimes have to choose between having running water, putting food on the table, or having clean clothes. As with cases like Bonnette's academic struggles, homelessness can have dire effects on children. When a parent cannot provide basic food, water, shelter, and cleanliness, it prevents the child from growing and achieving success. So that's where we come in. We temporarily care for the kids with homeless teens, and family reunification is always the end goal. Many families are still feeling the effects of financial and property loss during the October 2015 flood. Fairly normal families have awful things happen to them, like natural disaster that displaces them, a car accident, a house fire, or the death of a parent. And sometimes they're not set up to deal with these tragedies. Poverty has so many contributing factors. Life at Palmetto Place. Most teenagers think a summer break is a break from education, but for our teens, it's a chance to work 40 hours a week for 3 months to build their bank account. 14 of the homeless teens have part-time jobs, so our staff stays busy taking the kids to work and to job interviews. Shalita Bonette, out of the 33 teenagers who've come through the unaccompanied youth program, 23 have graduated high school like Bonette, and 12 of these teens went to college. Palmetto Place also put 16 unaccompanied youths through driving school and procured mental health services for all the homeless teens in their care. Homeless teens like Bonnet find a stable, nurturing environment to call home at Palmetto Place. The shelters has computers for teens to do homework on, and the residents are required to go through life skill classes to build interview skills and financial literacy. Many of them had never had a good example set for them. We teach them things about getting a lease, buying a car, obtaining insurance, making repairs to their homes and cars, and how to save money, build an emergency fund. Palmetto Place also has an in-house counselor, that would be me, who leads group therapy sessions with the teens. I also lead individual sessions with each teen as they want to talk. However, the shelter does try to build a fun family atmosphere for the teens, like movie nights, karaoke, trips to the beach, the lake, and we just went to the Plex to play. As she works and prepares for her first year of college, Bonnet has not lost any of her ambition or focus. She recalls seeing her parents jumping out of their seats at her high school graduation and is determined to continue proving her abilities and strengths. Although she's achieved so much and overcome such obstacles at a young age, Bonnet's experiences have left her shockingly realistic. While most 17-year-old girls can eagerly share of their dreams of marriage, having kids, and getting their dream careers, she's very cautious. I have calmed down a lot, and I'm more positive since I came to stay at Palmetto Place. Before this, I thought there was no help at all. And whatever happens, happens. It's not a good feeling. I know, well, the uncertainty life can throw at you. You can have a solid plan for your future, and something can completely throw it off course. It's nerve-wracking, but I want to believe anything can be possible with hard work. Bonnet is a first-generation college student in her family, and reflecting about what her struggles mean for her and her family brought her to tears as she was interviewed for this story. I know I have something to eat and a place to sleep now, and I don't have to worry. But deep down, I want for my innocent siblings. There's nothing I can do now, and that's what scares me the most. I want to get a college degree for myself, but for my family too. I want to change the cycle that my family is in. How to help homeless teenagers in Columbia. State and federal funding provides less than half the cost at Palmetto Place. The majority of our funding comes directly from the community, including book clubs and church groups. You know that expression, it takes a village to raise a child? Well, we have the best village. We have people who come help the kids with their homework, who come and cook meals for the kids. The mentors show these teens that there's another path out there, and they have family at Palmetto Place. Members of the public who are interested in helping teens like Bonnet are encouraged to visit our website to learn about volunteer opportunities, wish list items, and biographies of some of the children currently staying at the shelter. We have 10 high school seniors who have just graduated and have a lot of needs. Gift cards could go a long way for them. We all voice the opinion there that change really will not come as long as the Midlands keeps quiet about the problem of homeless teens. All these kids are fighting for the same end goal, a sense of safety and security. They needed to have someone who believed in them and gave them the educational support for their hard work, and Palmetto Place shows them there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and this is merely the beginning of their lives. Thank you.
Hang on to the mic a second, because
Okay.
First off, I want to thank you for coming out, because doing ministry with troubled teens has been a part of, something that I've done for a number of years, a lot of years.
Thanks.
And this is kind of something that, is near and dear.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever we were chatting back and forth on Facebook, we were talking about the need of bike ministries coming out and serving as both mentors or doing Bible studies, stuff like that. And I want to say a couple of special hellos. Ray Boone, I saw you on Facebook, and this might be something that you and your church might be interested in. Just prayerfully consider it. And Brother Mike down in Sumter, I'm glad that you joined us. But we were talking about the ministry opportunities, and this is a true ministry opportunity that will pay off years to come. You will affect the lives of people, young people that will affect the future of our state and our country. So whenever we're talking about the opportunities for bike ministries to come out there, what exactly are the ministry opportunities that are available that would we could prayerfully consider?
One of those pages has a lot of opportunities. I mean, you can do anything from sponsoring a pizza night to the kids and coming in with them. We've had groups come in and teach the kids to cook a meal, things like that. I would really like to see a group come in and do the Bible study. These kids are hungry for the Lord. Rough, tough bikers who love the
Not
Lord.
rough and tough.
Rough, tough bikers
Oh, Jay Bird is.
who still love Jesus. That's awesome.
Yes, they
That's
are rough
awesome.
and tough, I'm telling you.
That's right.
And I'm going to say this here because I'm speaking for myself, and I'm not putting anybody else, out there. But this is something that I am personally interested in. Even if I can only, give 1 week, once a month, I would like to see others in bike ministry look at this and consider if you could do, say, a Saturday a month. You're talking about just one Saturday to come out here. See, back when we used to do DJJ, we would rotate once a month. And that, that's whenever they had everybody housed over there on Bluff Road, and you usually had a pretty good crowd. But whenever they scattered them to different places across the state, then it some of it died on us.
Now, I know for a fact that a few people in the seat of Abraham are interested in this as well
Awesome.
as myself. This is my card.
Thank you.
Send me information. Send
Okay.
me the link to the webpage so I can present this to the other members and see what we can do to step up and help these children, or I can't say children, but young adults out.
Yeah, our youngest is 15 at our house.
Here's a suggestion. Why not go ahead and pick out another Saturday in a few weeks to host the young people here along with the biker groups here. We can have a cookout and get to know each other and get a better feel of what those people need.
Are they allowed to go out to places like this?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would also be fun is to have a night for them out here.
Yeah.
We
enjoy
could do a meet and greet, and then we'll invite, like we did tonight, but we'll invite other ministries to come out.
That might be a good idea for a roundtable.
Yeah, that would be a very good idea. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and schedule a roundtable for this, and in a couple.
And invite them out.
Yes. See, when we do a roundtable, instead of doing a preaching, what we do is we have open forum. Those that are watching online, those that are watching on Facebook, we monitor the chat rooms. We take questions. Sometimes it's Katie bar the door. We don't know what's coming.
Right.
And we'll be the first to admit, sometimes we have to say, well, we don't have the answer, but we will get back to you. We will look into it. We'll get an answer.
Well, even when we're preaching, it's open forum. If people have questions, we stop and
That's great.
take care of it
Yes.
right there.
So this is something that we want to prayerfully consider, but I can tell you, it's something that's, whenever you first got in touch with, when I first saw you post about it, it was something that was weighing on my heart.
Wonderful.
And like I said, we're not a big church,
You're kidding.
but
But we're a
Through
wide
tech-
impact.
through technology, we're able to reach a multitude.
Yeah, awesome.
And not just now, because, this is going to be viewed later, too.
But we're
And,
a little church that's got a big heart.
There you
Amen
go.
to that.
There you go.
And I like to tell people that we do a God-sized ministry on a MacGyver budget.
There you go.
But we are definitely going to do everything that we can to try and get others interested in this.
Okay.
And also keep you and your family and this ministry in prayer. And
Thank
it's
you.
Palmetto Place, and it's in West Columbia, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if y'all don't follow Joy on Facebook, you really need to. She has got 3 wonderful children. And the stories that we get to see on Facebook is absolutely amazing. This is truly an amazing family.
Thank you.
So, and they love bikers.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
we're just people. We just look different.
speak for yourself because
You do?
people think you're like me. Yes, that happened this week. We were at a youth conference, and guess what? They wanted to know if we were related. And I
Yeah,
told
we
them,
got the
yeah.
same father, we all do.
Yeah.
There you go, that's right.
Yeah, I told them that we were born the same year, just in different cities.
And 2 months apart.
Yes.
That's cool.
So we want to thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
And like I said, we are going to make sure that we do our best that this word gets out. And if we can't count on nobody else, we're going to see what we can do. But we're going to definitely reach out to others.
Thank you. And if there's anybody who's listening that's not local, we have an Amazon wish list, which they can buy off that, and it'll be sent directly to Palmetto Place.
That's
Do
great.
me a
That's
favor.
awesome, isn't it?
Send me the link to that, and
Okay.
I will make sure that it gets out on Facebook. And that way we can continue to generate as best we can.
Yeah, great.
So
There are
Wonderful.
enormous resources for some of us. I
yes.
spent 42 years in the town of Chapin, and most people think Chapin is all for the rich people. But a friend of mine, she's passed away, but began good works for the very same purpose. And Chapin is, like I said, a wealthy town. Found out there were 27 homeless families living within the city limits. Quickly banded together. It doesn't mean that it's all gone away, but they worked together, the entire community.
Wonderful.
And one thing to note, most people today are only a paycheck or two from being homeless.
That's right.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't.
And we also know that with some of the friends that we have around here, around the church. We have a homeless gentleman that watches out for our church whenever we're not here. He's a real good friend of ours. He has been for years. And he chooses to be homeless. But he also, we do for him, and he watches out for us. It's just a wonderful friendship.
Great.
We've always pretty much been involved with the homeless before.
Yes, we have.
When we, what we call it kind of our mother church, Suburban Baptist Church in West Columbia, we had a homeless ministry up there. We went up to the park,
City
Finley
Park.
Park
Yeah.
in Columbia. And we did some. Matter of fact, I think, what's his name? That's got the longer hair.
Oh, Barry Boyette.
Barry Boyette.
He's still a part of that.
Barry's still.
Yes, he's still part of that.
Yeah.
Yes. But again, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you for
out.
having me.
And we will try and make sure that
We get
this message
information out.
gets
Yeah.
out.
Great. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to, again, for those of you that are watching, I want to reiterate, this is a wonderful opportunity that we like to say we're not in it for the income, we're in it for the outcome. And this outcome can change lives and it can change the world. But then again, if you change just one life, you've changed their world. So,
Because you don't know how many lives they're going to affect.
exactly.
Right.
Well, with that being said, we've already done the announcements. Let's go ahead, let Ray sing.